Is the father of PAS, Parental Alienation Syndrome. PAS means that children are programmed by one parent to say bad things about the other. He's a reputable doctor, even though he has a history of siding with the fathers while taking aim at the mothers. His work on PAS has become the meat and potatoes of most contested custody cases.
That there be a transfer of custody if the mother can cease and desist from further PAS indoctrination.
Yet PAS, used to combat allegations of sexual abuse, is often accepted as legitimate theory. And on the face of it, PAS may look reasonable. But when it's applied in court, it's disastrous for the mother. Because if her child tells her of sexual abuse, there is no way she can win. Consider what Dr. Gardner says a good mother would do if her child told her of sexual abuse.
What do you see? Sometimes you see, I don't believe you. I'm going to beat you for saying it. Don't you ever talk that way again about your father. She subscribes to the rule, believe the children. Children never lie. Well, everybody knows children lie. So all you have to do is say to the kid, listen, 11 and 14, I'm not talking about 5-year-olds. Now look, you are fully responsible, and if you don't, you are in contempt of court, and you are in defiance of a court order, and the judge can put you in a juvenile detention center. One afternoon, one evening, one weekend will cure the kid. I'm convinced of it. The same thing with an overnight for the mother. I'm not talking about in Sing Sing, you know what I mean, or Rikers Island with hardened criminals. I'm just saying the county jail in a cell overnight will help her remember to get those kids. To just say, for the court to say, 5 p.m. Friday, they're at the father's house. 5:01, they're not there. He has a court order. He calls the police. The police are instructed by the judge to take her away for the weekend, put her in jail till Monday morning, or she's on house arrest. She cannot leave the house, and if she's out of the house, then she's arrested. She's in contempt of court. We will see in the next few years more and more people being put in jail for short periods of time for inducing PASs to help them remember not to do it. And why is it now becoming possible? Because of this large burgeoning of PAS, and also more men are now indoctrinators. So it's politically correct. It's okay to put a man in jail. You don't bring about the anger of women if you put a man in jail. And then that will make it easier to put women in jail for the same offense. That's what's happening.
And that is what is happening. Even though many psychologists and doctors consider PAS a flimsy theory, it has nevertheless become fully integrated into the legal system. And fathers' rights groups, masquerading as children's rights activists, are now using PAS to change state and federal laws.
And now the fathers have come out with making it a misdemeanor or a felony to even allege abuse if it's false. So what they're trying to do is be sure they close the mouths of anyone who will speak out.
If with domestic violence and child abuse we can say publicly it is no longer acceptable to abuse your children, it is no longer acceptable to abuse your spouse, we have to stop. This is a crime. It's not just morally wrong. It is a crime, and we need to stop it. And we need to hold offenders accountable for their behavior.
I think the thing that's so sad to me is the courts are being, they're buying into it not because they're stupid, but because these men are so good. I truly think there's some excellent, intelligent judges who make very wise decisions on a daily basis, but these men are so good because they have spent their life fooling people.
Family court judges, sitting without juries, have broad discretion in considering the best interests of the children. Many judges can and do make good decisions, but when they don't, there's not much individuals can do.
Judges think that fathers have a right to their children no matter what they do. There's a justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court in an oral argument who said, I don't get it. Just because you molest your child, you lose visitation.
You go, molest a child next door, you will be dealt with severely. But if you grow your own victim, then, that's sort of excusable.
In other words, it's okay to molest your own children, just not other people's.